Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth lecture of this course Heat Transfer. In the last lecture, we have started discussing the terminology overall heat transfer coefficient, and we have seen that the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient, it is analogous to the Newton's law of cooling, which is related to the convection mode of heat transfer. Now, today we will discuss in details the concept and the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient, and after that we will discuss some numericals based on the equations that we have studied till now for different topics of the heat transfer. So let us start this lecture. Okay, so the overall heat transfer coefficient, it gives the heat transmitted per unit area per unit time per degree temperature difference between the bulk fluids on each side of the metal. So this is the definition for the overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, and while dealing with the problems of fluid to fluid heat transfer across a metal boundary, we usually adopt an overall heat transfer coefficient. Now, there is a small derivation for the equation of the overall heat transfer coefficient. The notation is capital U. Now you can see the figure number 1 here. We will discuss the overall heat transfer coefficient through a plane wall. In the left side of this plane wall, the thickness it is considered as capital L, and in the left side of this plane wall you can see a hot fluid film, and in the right side of this plane wall you can see a cold fluid film. Okay, so the thickness is considered of the plane wall as capital L, and the thermal conductivity of this wall material, it is considered as K, and T1, it is the temperature of the surface 1 for the plane wall, and T2 is the temperature of the right side of the surface 2. Now THF, HF for the hot fluid. Okay, now THF, it is the temperature of the hot fluid, and TCF, this suffix is for the cold fluid. So TCF is the temperature of the cold fluid, which we have considered on the right side of the plane wall. Next, H suffix HF, it is the heat transfer coefficient from hot fluid to metal surface, that is in the left side of this plane wall. And HCF, it is the heat transfer coefficient, that is the convective heat transfer coefficient from metal surface to the cold fluid. Now that convection, it will be occurred on the right side of this plane wall. Okay, so here you can see the diagram that we have considered here, and the electrical analogy where the different thermal resistances, the conductive thermal resistance and convective thermal resistance, the formulas are written. Now the equation of heat flow through the fluid and the metal surface are given by three different heat transfer will occur here. Now for each and every mode of heat transfer, we need to write the heat transfer equation. So for the first case, when the heat will be transferred from the hot fluid film to the plane wall, that is in the left side of the surface of the plane wall, in that case there will be convection heat transfer, and there we will apply the Newton's law of cooling, which we have discussed earlier while discussing the convection concept. So from that Newton's law of cooling, and considering the notations for this overall heat transfer coefficient, we can write capital Q equals to H suffix HF multiplied by A, that is the area, and the temperature difference, so THF minus T1. Okay, next, when the heat will be transferred inside the metal wall or the plane wall, in that case the heat will be transferred by conduction mode. So in that case we will apply the Fourier's law of heat conduction. So this Fourier's law of heat conduction is used in case of conduction, and we have discussed earlier also. So the formula, it is equals to Q equals to Ka, and the temperature difference divided by the thickness of the wall. Next, when the heat will be transferred by convection, that is on the right side of the plane wall. In that case, again we need to apply the Newton's law of cooling, which is related to the convection heat transfer. So that's why Q will be equals to HCF, because in the right side there is cold fluid film that we have considered. So that's why the HCF multiplied by capital A, then the temperature difference. Now, from these three different equations, we can represent them by considering only the temperature gradient. In terms of the temperature gradient, we have represented the above three different equations. Now, and after considering this equation number 4, 5 and 6, if we add these three different equations, in that case we will, in the left side of this equation, we will get only THF minus TCF. That is the temperature of the hot fluid minus the temperature of the cold fluid, because all the others T1 and T2, that will be cancelled. Now in the right side we have taken the capital Q as common, and after that, after some steps, we are getting the equation number 2.52. Now here we are getting Q equals to A multiplied area multiplied by the temperature difference divided by one equation part. What is that? If we consider the overall heat transfer coefficient and the formula that we have discussed in the last lecture also, so there you have seen as this overall heat transfer coefficient, it is analogous to the Newton's law of cooling. So the formula, it is equals to U multiplied by A multiplied by the temperature difference. So now this will be equals to the 2.52 number equation. Now from this similarity, if we equate these two equations, now then you can write that capital U, this will be equals to 1 divided by 1 by HF plus L by K plus 1 by HCF. So that is the representation of the overall coefficient of heat transfer when the heat is transferred from a hot fluid to a plane wall and from the plane wall to the cold fluid. So this is the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient. The notation is capital U. So this 2.53 number equation we need to remember, which will be used while solving some numericals. Now let us discuss a numerical. So this is the diagram given for the numerical. Let us read the question first. A reactor's wall 320 mm thick is made up of an inner layer of fire brick. The thermal conductivity is given 0.84, covered with a layer of insulation. And for the insulation layer, the thermal conductivity is also given. The reactor operates at a temperature of 1325 degrees centigrade and the ambient temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. Now we need to determine the thickness of the fire brick and insulation which gives minimum heat loss. The total thickness is given 320 mm. We need to determine the thickness of each brick, fire brick and insulation. Next, we need to calculate the heat loss presuming that the insulating material has a maximum temperature of 1200 degrees centigrade. So this is the question given. Now how to solve this type of question? So here the temperature T1 and T2 and T3, these three are given. The total thickness for the fire brick and the insulating material in the insulation, these are given 320 mm. This is equals to 0.32 meter. Now the thermal conductivity for both these things are given. Now we need to find the value of LA and LB separately. Now how to solve this question? So we can use the formula for the heat flux, that Q equals to the temperature difference divided by the thermal conductivity for each and every material. So Q equals to T1 minus T3 divided by LA by Ka plus LB by Kb. So this is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by LA by Ka, which is also equals to T1 minus T2 minus T3 divided by LB by Kb. Because the heat flux under steady state condition, it is constant throughout the wall and it is same for each and every layer. So for unit area of the wall, we can write this equation. Now considering the first two equations, if we put the values which are given in the question, then we are getting the values of T1, T2 and T3, and we are also getting the values for the two different thermal conductivities. Now if we put all these values in the first two quantities of the above equation, then after some steps we will get the thickness of the fire brick as 114.6 millimeter, and now as the total thickness of the fire brick and insulation is given as 320 millimeter. So if we subtract this thickness for the fire brick from the total thickness, then we will get the thickness of the insulation as 205.4 millimeter. So using this formula we can solve and we can calculate the thickness of the fire brick and the insulation separately. Now for the next part, we need to calculate the heat loss per unit area. So the heat loss per unit area, the formula, it is familiar to us. So Q equals to T1 minus T2 divided by LA by Ka. So as these values are given in the question, so T1 is given in 1325 and T2 is given in 1200, and the thickness for the fire brick we have calculated just now 114.6 millimeter, and the thermal conductivity for the fire brick, it is also given as 0.84 watt per meter degree centigrade. So after putting all these values in this equation for the heat loss for unit area, then we can calculate and we will get the result as 916.23 watt per meter square. So in this way we can solve this question. Let us move to the next question. So in this question, what is given? A mild steel tank of wall thickness 12 millimeter contains water at 95 degrees centigrade. The thermal conductivity of mild steel, it is given as 50 watt per meter degree centigrade, and the heat transfer coefficients for the inside and outside the tank are 2850 and 10 watt per meter square degree centigrade respectively. If the atmospheric temperature is 15 degree centigrade, then we need to calculate the rate of heat loss per meter square of the tank surface area and the temperature of the outside surface of the tank. So these are the two things that we need to calculate in this question. So how to proceed here? Let us first write what are the things given in this question. The total thickness of this mild steel tank of is given as 12 millimeter, which is 0.012 meter. The temperature of water, that is the hot surface here, it is given as 95 degrees centigrade, and the temperature of air, which is the cold surface or cold flame here, it is given as 15 degrees centigrade. The thermal conductivity of the mild steel, it is given as 50 watt per meter degree centigrade, and the heat transfer coefficient, that is the convective heat transfer coefficient for the hot fluid and the cold fluid, which are water and air respectively, given as 2850 watt per meter degree centigrade and 10 watt per meter degree centigrade. So these are the things that we have written from the question. Now For the first case, we need to find the rate of heat loss per meter square of the tank surface area. So for that, we need to use the concept of overall heat transfer coefficient, and from the derivation of the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient, we have seen that the formula for the overall heat transfer coefficient, this is equals to U multiplied by A multiplied by the temperature difference of the hot film or the hot fluid and cold fluid respectively. And the formula for this U, this is equals to 1 by U equals to 1 by H HF plus L by K plus 1 by HCF. Now from this equation, if we put the values of the heat transfer coefficient for the hot fluid, then the total thickness, then the thermal conductivity of the mild steel wall, and the heat transfer coefficient of the cold fluid, if we put all these values in the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient, then we can calculate the value of the U. This is equals to 9.94 watt per meter degree centigrade. Now we need to find the rate of heat loss per meter square. That means the area in the formula of the overall heat transfer coefficient, this will be equals to 1. If you consider the area is 1 and the value of overall heat transfer coefficient U equals to 9.94 as per the earlier calculation, and the two different temperatures which are given in the question itself, which is 95 and 15 degrees centigrade, if we put all these values in the formula for the overall heat transfer coefficients heat loss, so in that case we can calculate the Q, that is the rate of heat loss per meter square of the tank surface, as 795.2 watt per meter square. So maximum the values for the different notations were given in the question. If you can remember the formula for the overall heat transfer coefficient, then we can easily solve this question. Next, the temperature of the outside surface of the tank we need to calculate. So how to calculate that part? In the outside surface of the tank, the heat transfer will be by the convection mode. So in that case, if we use the Newton's law of cooling, so the formula will be Q equals to HCF, that is the cold fluid's convective heat transfer coefficient. Then the area, this will be equals to 1 because per meter square we are calculating, and the temperature difference, so T2 minus TCF. So in from this equation, all the values is known to us, except all the values are known to us except the T2, which we need to calculate here. So after putting all the values in this equation of Newton's law of cooling, we will be able to calculate the temperature of the outside surface of the tank. It is as 94.52 degrees centigrade. So in this question, by using the Newton's law of cooling and the two formulas for the overall heat transfer coefficient, we have solved the required things. So let us move to the next numerical. Here, the interior of a refrigerator having inside dimensions of 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter base area and 1 meter height is to be determined at 6 degrees centigrade. Okay, the walls of the refrigerator are constructed of two mild steel sheets 3 millimeter thick. The thermal conductivity is given 46.5 watt per meter degree centigrade with 50 millimeter of glass wool insulation. For this glass wool, the thermal conductivity is also given. If the average heat transfer coefficients at the outer and inner surfaces are 11.6 and 14.5 respectively, then you need to calculate the rate at which heat must be removed from the interior to maintain the specified temperature in the kitchen at 25 degrees centigrade and the temperature on the outer surface of the metal sheet. So this is also the similar kind of numerical that we have discussed just now. So first we need to write what are the things given. So the thickness For the mild steel sheet, that is denoted by A, then the glass wool, it is denoted by B, and again in the right side the mild steel sheet, it is denoted by C. So LA and LC, that is the thickness for the mild steel sheet, these are given as 3 mm. The thickness for the glass wool LB, it is given as 50 mm. The thermal conductivities for Ka and Kc, these are equal and these are given as 46.5. The thermal conductivity for the glass wool, this is given as 0.046 watt per meter degree centigrade. Then HO, that is the outer surface of the refrigerator, the heat transfer coefficient at the outer surface of the refrigerator, it is given as 14.5, sorry 11.6 watt per meter degree centigrade. And HI, that is the inside surface of the refrigerator heat transfer coefficient, it is given as 14.5. And the temperature in the outer and inner surface of the refrigerator, these are given as 25 and 6 degrees centigrade. Now the total area through which heat is coming into the refrigerator. So here we have calculated the total area of the refrigerator, which is 2.5 meters square. Next, the rate of heat removal we need to calculate. So here we have applied the formula of the overall heat transfer coefficient. So if we apply intelligently the concept of or the equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient, then we need to write this equation like this. So in the left side and the right side of the refrigerator, there will be the convective mode of heat transfer, and inside the refrigerator for the three different part, there will be three different conduction mode of heat transfer. So based on that concept, we have written the equation like this. Now all the values is actually given in the question. So we have written all the values in this equation of the heat removal, and after that we have calculated the value as 38.2 watt. Next we need to calculate the temperature at the outer surface of the metal sheet. Now at the outer surface of the metal sheet, the heat will be transferred by convection mode only. So in that case we need to apply the Newton's law of cooling. The formula for the Newton's law of cooling, it is equals to Q equals to HO, that is O for outer surface, multiplied by A, which we have calculated as 2.5, multiplied by the temperature difference, that is 25 minus T1. So here Q, the heat removal rate, we have calculated for the first part of this question, that is as 38.2, and for in the right hand side, except the value T1, all the other values are given in this question. So from this equation we can calculate the value of T1 as 23.68 degrees centigrade. So this is the value of the temperature at the outer surface of the metal sheet. So these are the three different kinds of numericals that we have discussed based on the overall heat transfer coefficient and the formula for the Newton's law of cooling. Next, let us discuss the heat conduction through a hollow cylinder. So here for uniform conductivity, let us consider a hollow cylinder made of material having constant thermal conductivity and insulated at both ends. Now the diagram you can see here, the one hollow cylinder of length capital L we have considered, and one infinitesimal distance or thickness of dr we have considered inside this hollow cylinder, and heat is flowing radially outwards here, that we have considered here. Now in the electrical analogy part, you can see the thermal resistance, the value of the thermal resistance is ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL. So this is the final formula that we will calculate here, or we will derive here in the next page. So a number of methods are there to calculate the heat transfer. So let us discuss one of them. So consider an element at radius r and thickness dr for a length of the hollow cylinder through which heat is transmitted. So let dt be the temperature drop over the element. Now area through which heat is transmitted. So this is the surface area of this hollow cylinder. So it is 2 pi rl. It is familiar to us. Next, the path length, it is dr over which the temperature falls is dt. Now from the conduction concept and the Fourier's law of heat conduction, we can write Q equals to minus Ka dt dr. So here as the area equal for this hollow cylinder, it is 2 pi rl, so we can replace A with 2 pi rl per unit time, or again we can represent this equation as q multiplied by dr by r equals to minus k 2 pi l into dt. Now if we integrate both the sides, we will get in the left side we have integrated dr by r and the limit is r1 to r2, and in the right hand side we have integrated the dt part from t1 to t2 as per our consideration. Now if we do this simple integration here, then after some steps we will get capital Q equals to T1 minus T2 divided by ln R2 by R1 by 2 pi KL. Now this part ln R2 by R1 by 2 pi KL, this is the thermal resistance here which we have seen in the earlier page. So this is a simple derivation that we have discussed here. Only we need to apply the Fourier's law of heat conduction, and after that within the limit we need to integrate only. So in this way we can find the heat transfer in case of a hollow cylinder. Next let us discuss the heat conduction through a hollow sphere. So in the similar way that we have calculated or we have derived the heat conduction through a hollow cylinder, with that similar concept we will proceed here also. So here you can see we have considered a hollow sphere made of material having constant thermal conductivity. So here also we have considered one infinitesimal thickness of dr. Heat is flowing radially outward from T1 to T2. Now this thermal resistance R2 minus R1 divided by 4 pk R1 R2. So this is the thing we will find finally here. So let R1 and R2, these are inner and outer radii. Then T1 and T2, these are the temperatures of inner and outer surfaces, and small k, this is equals to constant thermal conductivity of the material with the given temperature range. Now consider a small element of thickness dr at any radius r. So area through which the heat is transmitted, so this A equals to 4 pi r square. Now in the Fourier's law of heat conduction, that is Q equals to minus Ka dt dr, there we have replaced the capital A as 4 pi r square. Now after integrating within the considered limit, that is the limit for the radius will be from r1 to r2 and limit for the temperature it is from T1 to T2. If we integrate that equation within this considered limit, then after 2 or 3 steps we will get the equation for the Q. This is equals to T1 minus T2 divided by R2 minus R1 by 4 pi K R1 R2. Okay, so this is the final representation of this heat transfer in case of a hollow sphere. Now let us discuss another numerical. So water flows at 50 degrees centigrade inside a 2.5 centimeter inside diameter tube such that HI, I is for the inside, equals to 3500 watt per meter square degree centigrade. The tube has a wall thickness of 0.8 millimeter with a thermal conductivity of 16 watt per meter degree centigrade. The outside of the tube loses heat by free convection with H naught, this 0 is for outside surface, equals to 7.6 watt per meter square degree centigrade. We need to calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient and heat loss per unit length to surrounding air at 20 degree centigrade. So again, we need to apply the concept of the overall heat transfer coefficient, but the formula will differ here. So there are three resistances in series for this problem. So as discussed earlier, with capital L as 1 meter, the inner diameter is 0.025 and the outer diameter is 0.0266 meter, the resistances may be calculated. So these are the formula, that Ri equals to 1 by Ha, and the suffix I is for the inner surface. So this thing we have got while discussing the thermal resistance in case of the convection part. It is from the electrical analogy we have got this formula. Now if we put the values of Hi and Ai here, then we will get the thermal resistance for the inner side is at 0.00364 degrees centigrade per watt. Now in the similar manner, RT, this is equals to ln dO by di divided by 2 pi kl. So this is the formula that we have discussed just now, that is the thermal resistance in case of a hollow cylinder. So as all the values are given, so from this equation we can calculate that thermal resistance, that is 0.00062 degree centigrade per watt. Again, for the outer surface of the tube, the heat loss will be mainly by convection, and in that case the formula is 1 by HOAO or H naught A naught. So as all the values are given in the question, then we can calculate that thermal resistance in the outer surface of the tube, that is as 1.575 degrees centigrade per watt. So here we can see that the outer convection resistance of the tube, this is the largest among these three that we have calculated. So this means that it is the controlling resistance for the total heat transfer, because the other resistances in series, these are negligible in comparison with the outer surface. Their values are very much negligible compared to the outer surface. Now we need to calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient based on the outer surface, because the other values, these are negligible compared to this outer surface thermal resistance. So in that case, Q will be equals to delta T by summation R. This is equals to U A naught delta T. Now this overall transfer coefficient primarily based on the outer surface, this will be equals to 1 by A naught summation R. So for this summation R, all the values we have calculated in the earlier steps, and if we put all the values in this overall transfer coefficient formula, then we will be getting the value of the overall transfer coefficient as 7.577 watt per meter square degree centigrade. So this is a value very close to the value of outer surface over heat transfer coefficient, that is 7.6. Now the heat transfer is obtained from the equation based on the overall transfer coefficient, that is Q equals to U A naught delta T. Now here the heat loss per unit length, so this is equals to U A naught delta T. Now we have already calculated in the earlier step. A naught, this is also been calculated, and that delta T, that is the temperature difference. So these two different temperatures, these are given in the question. So if we put all these values here, then we will be able to calculate the heat loss per unit length. So the value we are getting here, that is 19.19 watt. This is for 1 meter length. So now this is the summary of the electrical analogy that we have discussed till now. So in case of analogy or electrical concept, the basic electrical, we know that if current is I and resistance is R, then the potential difference it is V. So V equals to IR, that formula we have studied. And in case of heat transfer in the Cartesian coordinate, the heat flux, that is Q equal Q, then the resistance equals to L by Ka, and the potential difference it is delta T. In case of cylindrical conduction, then current, in case of current, that is the heat transfer, it will be Q, and the resistance, thermal resistance, this the formula for the thermal resistance, it is ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL. The potential difference, it is the same temperature gradient, temperature difference. And then the conduction through sphere that we have discussed today. In that case, the resistance, thermal resistance, it is 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2 divided by 4 pi K. And in case of convection, the thermal resistance, it is 1 by HA. So this formula for this different resistance, thermal resistance, this is very much required to solve different numericals in this heat transfer. So these are the references, and this is the end for today's lecture. And in the next lecture we will be discussing the critical thickness of insulation and the critical radius, their concept. One derivation is there for the critical radius, and based on that we will be solving different numericals. Okay. So this is the end for today's lecture.